Oh, look at that. It's like an ad for a fucking weight loss center. Before and way before.
This guy ever stop breaking balls?
Hear what I said, Tom? They're like an ad for a weight loss center. Before and after.
Yeah, before and after, indeed. My name is Jim Scampoli, and I've seen every episode of The Sopranos, but I've not seen every commercial.
How come he's
God
not
damn it. But I've not seen every commercial featuring members of The Sopranos.
God, it's like a commercial coming in and cutting you off. But yes, this is Cut to Black, and my name is Jakob Burrows. I've seen every episode of The Sopranos, and I'm here to sell you Swedish newspapers. Much like Polly Walnuts, we'll get into it. This is a weird one. We missed you. You surely missed us. It's been a while since we did an episode of this podcast, Jim, but you know what? There was something that happened. It broke the internet. It was a commercial at the Super Bowl, and the internet was broken. And this was maybe 2 or 3 months ago at this point.
I was going to say,
yeah.
So we're only 2 months late, but...
Well, to be fair, we started reviewing The Sopranos really late as well. So we're kind of on the ball in this one.
I would actually push back on that because yes, we did a podcast on The Sopranos well after The Sopranos was done, but now I feel like we beat the rush. We beat the rush of Sopranos podcast, but that's a whole nother story. So basically, what we're trying to say is we're gonna review, commentate, just sit back and relax and watch some of our favorite actors from The Sopranos doing commercial work, which must be pretty lucrative. I imagine they're making some good money. Tony Sirico for sure. But I guess we'll just start right off the jump here with the referenced Super Bowl commercial. Actually, before we get into that, because I had to, you're for people that don't know, you're not in America. Yeah, you're not American. You're from Sweden. You live in Ireland. What even is the penetration point of the Super Bowl in general? Obviously, you're aware of it. But is it something that people even put on, like where you're at, or even like have an passing interest in?
Well, it's on in the middle of the night for the.
Of course.
And it's like Sunday night to Monday, so it's you either have to be really into it or not into it at all. Most people are not into it at all, like we do. Like it's American football. Like even people who are into sport. It's kind of a niche thing to be into. Like imagine. I know it's hard to grasp, but like imagine if like cricket was just the thing your friend was the most into. You'd think it was a bit weird. That's how people feel about American football if you're that into it. But I do know people who stay up all night and watch it and like maybe take the Monday off work or work tired. But you have to have that dedication. I do know people who do it.
So instead of like when someone uses the analogy, like when they're discussing something like a big event, like this is the Super Bowl of The Sopranos. You know what I mean? This is the series finale. This is the Super Bowl of The Sopranos. No one says that, huh? They just say this is the World Cup of.
No, I said it as a joke, but I guess Eurovision is our Super Bowl, which is pretty depressing.
Is that what the weird bands? Is that the weird thing where all the bands play?
That's funny because it's such there's such a disconnect as well. Like you have no interest or understanding of that, and we have very little understanding of the Super Bowl.
I didn't know even of it as a thing until there was like a Will Ferrell Netflix movie that came out like a year or two ago that was like about a fake band in that thing. Yeah. But
Fire Saga or whatever. Yeah.
So, but then I had to message you. I was like, you see this fucking commercial, but of course I'm forgetting that. Like, of course you didn't see the commercial. You don't know what I'm talking about. And I had to explain there's a Sopranos commercial. But anyway, let's just play it here first.
Well, I am on Twitter, so like I would know. Like you see people comment on it, right? Because most people who are big on Twitter are in the US, and they're talking about the halftime show, they're talking about the commercials. Like I hear the commercials, they're bad. They're like leftovers. I like the leftovers better than the turkey dinner. This is all like I have no context. I'm just grasping at straws here.
You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun.
Now, of course,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you're just listening to the podcast, this is just the intro. But you've probably seen the commercial, right?
Yeah, you've probably. I mean, and I guess from the word is that David Chase did, get his ass off of his sacks of money and went to go shoot this commercial. It's just weird because, well, famously, David Chase did shoot the intro to The Sopranos. Like, he just got into a car with Gandolfini, started shooting all this stuff, driving from New York to New Jersey. It's fucking iconic at this point. But also, I'm cynical. So even though, like, I remember reading online or the reaction from a lot of Sopranos fans, I get it because it's kind of new Sopranos, even though it isn't. But everyone's so excited about it. But I'm a cynical person. And even, like, I'm also a devotee to the altar of David Chase. And David Chase is a very cynical person as well. I mean, if you know from The Sopranos. So my initial inclination is to be like, fuck this bullshit. You're selling an electric car. Go fuck yourself. I mean, that's what I get it. There's the cool part of, oh, it's Jamie Lynn Sigler. She's, assuming she's playing Meadow here. We'll play a little bit more. Bad sound with a blue moon in your eye. Woke up this morning. Got a blue moon. Got a blue moon in your eyes. Seeing all the sights. Well, these are different, but Satrielli's.
The first ever all-electric Chevy Silverado.
So, yeah, and then, of course, we do have AJ, which is nice. They do have the goof where she parks the car first time without issue. So there's, like, fun references. But, again, I'm kind of an asshole, I guess, because I'm like, fuck off. Stop trying to play to my goddamn emotions and my nostalgia to sell me a fucking electric SUV or electric pickup.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see AJ looking well. But yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be the theme throughout our whole episode here, talking about various commercials, because they're all like, I'm a very, like, I can't stand watching commercials, to be honest with you. Like, ever since growing up, I've never been able, I don't understand people who leave their TVs on during TV shows and then they let it play at like full volume during commercials. Like, first of all, we don't need to do that shit anymore. But even when growing up, I'm like, why would you subject yourself to this willingly? How would you not have ad blocker on your web browser, that sort of thing? But yeah, so I'm very like cynical when it comes to commercials as well. And obviously this is a commercial, but it's fun. I get why people enjoy seeing it at the start, especially. It is kind of goofy when it just cuts and we see this car and it's like fucking Tony Soprano would ever drive this shit. Like any of these all-American mobsters would be in these electric vehicles.
Well, I mean, that's the fun thing to think of, is that to think of the argument Tony would be getting in with Meadow when she wants to buy an electric vehicle. And he'd have like some silly thing where he'd mess up a word or some sort of technology, and he'd also like accredit it to an Italian person or something. The America was built on gas cars, like some bullshit. So, I mean, it's fun to think of that because, I don't think initially, maybe he'd come around, but I don't think initially Tony would be all like, let's get an all electric vehicle, maybe a hybrid.
Well, the only way this commercial would really make a splash with me is if they went with the intro from like season 1 and we have the Twin Towers in there. Then I'd be like, wow, they really did something there. That was kind of out there, guys, but at least they stuck to their vision or whatever. As it is, they're hawking a car. It's cool to see the sights and everything. But yeah, that's about that. But people have started saying stuff even like, this, like seeing it as part of the canon, they're pulling up at
insane. But go ahead.
No, they're pulling up at the place, right? They're pulling up a place.
I don't think they're pulling up at I guess maybe they are. Holson's? No. Not Holson's. What the hell is it? God damn,
it's like a shrimp there.
Yeah, because
I
no,
can't really see it.
they're at Baja's Fish
Okay.
and Lobster.
Okay. Just seems like it seems like they should have, even if they didn't. Like, there's definitely should have been a reference at the end, right?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It's Holston's, right? Ice cream shop and restaurant. Yeah, Holston's. That's the home to the most iconic scene of Sopranos. Unless that, but I don't think that's Holston's. At least looking at this commercial, because maybe Holston's doesn't have an electric vehicle charger across the street, so they had to improvise a bit.
I mean, last time we saw Holston's was in Many Saints of Newark, right?
Yes.
It didn't look like that, but that could just be, that was a long time ago. I don't actually remember the exterior from the show, but either way, it should be. It should be that.
I mean, you're right, because then people started saying like, this is canon. This shows that Meadows now running the family. Or a lot of people are like, this is better than all of Many Saints of Newark. And people are pretty harsh on Many Saints of Newark. I mean, we haven't really checked back in on that yet. And I feel like history, I feel like history is going to prove that people are incorrect on that. Because I think people are very quick to forget the reactions to the Sopranos finale as well was not as celebrated as it is these days. Again, I'm not saying it's on that level. I'm not even saying it's like as good as the show, because I think by design, a movie wouldn't be as good as the show. But I think once people can settle down some of their expectations and revisit it, it's a lot better than people are acting. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, that's actually we could do a whole episode on this. But Many Saints, like people haven't turned to the positive on it yet. I see a lot of negativity on it, and there are definitely things that could have been improved about it. But overall, I do still think it's a good film. And maybe it's the cynical nature that we mentioned. Like, I came in expecting it. I had so low expectations. That's
true.
How I roll. So if people come in thinking they're going to get The Sopranos, sorry, you're not going to get The Sopranos.
Yeah, if you listen to we had like 2 different lead-up discussions with the trailer, and we were pretty like, uh-oh, how's this going to be? But we also were discussing that this trailer is not the movie. It's not going to be the story. Whatever, we'll get into that. Let's get on to the next commercial. Let's keep it going. Now, there are people...
Wait. Sorry, before we move on, I think we have to rate these. Okay. My suggestion is going between Maron and like 100 boxes of ZD. Maybe 0 to 100 boxes of ZD makes more sense, but I think Maron. Yeah, because it's like, Maron.
But can't sometimes be like, Maron. It's so... Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. We'll keep that as... There's got to be a middle one. Because even though I was being kind of tough on that commercial we just watched, I still like it. But I just feel like I'm being, although commercials are manipulation and by design, I just feel like I'm being manipulated by that commercial.
What about Goomba to Gooma? I don't know which one's positive, but
I just feel like we need 3 options. Well, no, but then I'm just gonna ride the fence and everything. You know what? I'm gonna give it a Goomba then. Goomba's the bad one.
Okay, let me make a note of that. The bad one.
Well, let's do either one. We'll do either a Goomba to Gooma or Omadon to 100 boxes of ZD.
Okay, I'm gonna rate it.
Or we can give it. You know what? We should have figured this out beforehand. We can give it a, we could go a scale of 1 to 5 boxes of ZD or 1 to 5 gabagools.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it 37 boxes of ZD out of a scale of 100. But you can always get deeper in the hole once you start borrowing ZDs at the table, like boxes of ZD, which are $1,000 each. Then you can always go deeper in the hole. So 37 seems like a lot, but we can actually go a lot deeper.
I'm gonna keep mine a little bit more simple on a scale of 1 to 5. I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5 gabagools.
I'm going to change my rating system with each commercial.
No,
so
I'm going to do it. I don't want to do gabagool because I hate when everyone makes that joke. So I'm just going to go, 3 out of 5 boxes of ZD for that one. So it's the middle of the road.
Okay, let's move to the next.
I'm going to give it 5 Gumas.
Yeah, and I gave it 37 boxes of ZD, and I'm sticking to it.
Got him. Yeah, he's clean, boss. Now listen to me, Duck. I have an associate that met with an unfortunate accident.
So now, again, this is where cultural differences are going to come into play because you don't know Affleck, the Affleck Duck, do you?
No, so to me,
So
and
you're
to the
going to be
viewers,
very confused.
to the listeners at home, there's a wait. This is a goose, right? This is a
Yeah.
a
Well,
goose.
I think it's commonly known as the Affleck Duck, though. Now
Okay,
I don't
but
know.
this is not the Affleck. You're telling me there's an Affleck Duck, but what we're seeing, and I have to if you're listening on the podcast, we do have a video version of this on our YouTube channel. You can search for Shows What You Know on YouTube. But so there's someone grabs an animal and drags it into a car and frisks it. That's where we're at so far.
Is the if you Google Affleck Duck, that's the Affleck Duck, and we do have.
Okay, what is the Affleck Duck? Stop saying the Affleck Duck.
Because you were talking about trying to guess these commercials, but I feel like with the cultural difference,
I thought for sure. I thought 100% you were talking about Ben Affleck.
No.
What is Affleck?
Affleck is like an insurance company.
Okay.
And are they insurance? I believe so. But like, see, you have to kind of know a little bit about this. Yeah, it's insurance. And they have this mascot, which is the Aflac Duck. And we do have to call out who just recently passed, Gilbert Gottfried, was the voice of the Aflac Duck. Now, this could be after he did get fired for it, for like having a 9/11 joke. So this might be after he was fired. So it's an impersonator. But just to set context for you, yeah, this is the Affleck insurance duck. And apparently he's going to get pulled into a car by Frank Vincent.
Affleck! Affleck! Got him. Yeah, he's clean, boss. Now listen to me, Duck. I have an associate that met with an unfortunate accident. While he's been incapacitated, somebody's been paying him cash. Now, is this your doing?
Affleck?
Now, if I met with some such accident, would Affleck pay me? Nice. This is your stop.
Find out what Affleck can do for you and your family
Affleck?
at Affleck.com.
What do you think?
Okay. So, first of all, I preferred the no context of like having no idea what the fuck was happening. Like, I kind of prefer that. Also, they run an insurance company and they're doing a Sopranos themed commercial. Like, do they not see how that's a bad idea, or how they need to lean into it more, because there's so much in the mob stuff about insurance scams? Shouldn't that be part of it? I guess it's kind of part of it. I don't know.
You're right, but also kind of because obviously almost every one of these commercials, or pretty much every one of these commercials, is going to be playing off of like an Italian mob stereotype. But your insurance is extra egregious. But like almost any brand, you could be like, do these people understand what they're saying about their brand? Where they have a mob guy like strong arming someone. But you're right, insurance is almost like particularly egregious. I don't know when this came out, but maybe this was, I mean, it looks fairly high quality, like fairly recent. But I was going to say maybe it's during the more risque mid-aughts where things were shock jocks.
Yeah, maybe. I think it was in 2013, according to IMDb. Okay. Frank Vincent was in an Affleck insurance commercial. Actually, he's in a lot of these. But
this
anyway,
is pre-cancel culture,
right? Yeah. So it's got a goose in it, or a duck. Is this a duck goose? Duck goose.
I mean, yeah, I never even thought about it until you were like, this is a goose. I was like, oh, shit, that might actually be a goose. But we've all known it for decades as the Affleck Duck. This goes back pre 9/11 with Affleck, when Gilbert Gottfried was the voice of it.
Well, I could be wrong. I think of ducks like the little ones, not the white ones. But when I Google duck, yeah, that's a duck, right? I feel like this is a goose, but you know what? We're getting off track.
I mean, I guess the ugly duckling came into a goose, so what are you going to do?
Well, I have a particular stake in this because my girlfriend is racist against geese because one time when she hates swans for this very reason, but one time she was young, she was attacked by a goose, but she told me it was a swan, and that's why she hates swans. So she's actually a racist, unfortunately.
Yeah. classifying.
She doesn't listen to this, so it's fine, even though she's on it sometimes. Yeah, so anyway, what was my point? This commercial is great. I actually love it. It's got him talking to an animal, so for me, that's going to be a real guma of a commercial.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this. Well, I like this one a little bit more, and I like what you're saying about it. I kind of like the edginess of insurance.
Sure.
Doing a mob style commercial, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 boxes of ZD.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at this whole concept of what we're doing. Like, well, The Many Saints of Newark came out. What's next?
Yeah, what else? Now,
this
right, is like
on to the next.
It's hard to gauge if this kind of counts or not, but it's like a long promo for like launching HBO Max. So I don't know if it technically, since it's HBO, but anyways.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know how true this is, if this guy really kind of gave them the idea for an HBO streaming service.
What, really? So, sorry, if you're listening at home, we're seeing loads of text here about someone tweeted the idea of having an HBO streaming thing, and
he
now they're
bought the URL takemymoney.hbo.com, and he was like,
Right.
what would people pay for a streaming service from HBO? And everyone started tweeting about it. But I've never heard this before.
It kind of blew up.
So now they're bringing in the big guns.
What did this J kid say? HBO, take my money?
Yeah, big balls, huh?
We'll take it all right.
This kid's obsessed with HBO. That I understand.
And he's blabbing about it all over the Twitter.
He's got over 160,000 hits. He's viral.
Is that contagious?
We get in, we get out, we get paid, okay?
Okay, but if he gets slippy, it's good night, Jakey.
That's kind of why I built the website. When HBO contacted me on Twitter, I was thrilled.
Guys, what is that?
There he is.
Yeah, Jake Caputo.
King of the freaking interwebs.
We hear you like to give money away, Jake.
And we like money, Jakey.
I can't believe you guys have actually heard of me.
Yeah, we heard of you.
Your balls ain't that big now that we're here. Honey, Jake.
No,
We're here to take your money. Give me your wallet.
there's not much in there.
What's this?
How much we got?
Here, for the subway. Leave him alone.
Hey, Tweeter man, I'll be seeing you.
So, I mean, if they really did that to you, it would just be extra uncomfortable. Like, I mean, obviously this is like a stage commercial, but I'm sure there's elements of it where they surprised him. But I mean, I guess I would think it's cool, but then I'd also be like, all right, what are we doing here?
Oh, I didn't think he was surprised at all. I thought it was all part of it there. That would have been actually better if they did that, but I just assumed that wasn't part of it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy with 1,500 followers apparently tweeted about how HBO should have a streaming show, and they decided to turn that into the marketing of their streaming service.
Oh, you looked him up? Yeah. So he only has 1,500. Does there at least a tweet? Actually, I guess we'd have to go back far. Does he even still tweet on that account?
Well, I went to takemymoneyhbo.com, which was on the screen there, and it says 3 years ago I launched takemymoneyhbo.com to tell HBO how much we'd be willing to pay for a standalone streaming service. Within 48 hours, 163,000 people came to say, take my money, HBO. Now, this is an ad. This is just an ad as well.
So it's
HBO,
all fake. Like this,
well, I mean,
every element of it's fake.
No, look, someone's going to tweet stuff like that every minute of the day, right? It's not like they over at HBO were like, whoa, we'd never thought of that. You know, it'd be more like, hey, a bunch of people are crying out for this thing. Let's incorporate it into the marketing of this thing we're already working on to make the thing. Makes sense. I don't mind this commercial. I like seeing our friends hanging out. It feels like weird fan fiction, you know?
Yeah.
They're just being weird. They're talking about Twitter. You know, this is the kind of stuff we see on Twitter when it's like, oh, Sopranos if it was now. Like, it's just a little fun little glimpse. Yeah, I don't mind it.
I agree. Although sometimes, and I mean, it's not their fault. I don't want this to come off like I'm blaming them. But sometimes it's tough and it's not just The Sopranos that does this. It's every property you've ever liked in your life these days. But it's tough now seeing, in some cases, like seeing them extra old and still trying to like put on the old swagger. And I mean, I don't need to be ageist here. And again, we're big fans of Cobra Kai, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. But I don't know. Sometimes it's like I don't want them to always wheel them out and be like, "Do the thing, come on, do the thing again." It's like just let him fucking let this poor man live.
True, though. I mean, Paulie's looked old forever. He's just got one of those faces. I was watching Braveheart recently and was like, wow, Mel Gibson really, like, he didn't look old, but he looked like pre-old. Like, he's already had all the creases in his face that have since deepened, obviously. And similarly, Paulie, I don't feel like he, I don't think they look bad, but I do get where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I don't think they look bad either. It's just, I think it's just because it reminds me of my own mortality, and that makes me uncomfortable.
And it reminds you that they don't, like, this is their life now after the show.
Yeah. But I didn't really, I mean, even though it's kind of fun, I'm still going to give it 2 out of 5 boxes of Zedia. It's probably my least favorite one so far.
Cool. I'm going to give it 2 boxes of Zedia as well. But as you know, my scale goes to 100, so it's a slightly lower score.
That's pretty low. Oh, here's where we're getting to your territory now.
Hell yeah.
Tell me, what is Aftenbladet? Aftenbladet.
This is like me trying to say Super Bowl over here and getting it wrong. Aftonbladet. Aftonbladet is a newspaper. Aftonbladet. Afton just means evening, and Bladet is like the paper, so it's like an evening paper. And it's one of the most sold papers in Sweden. And here we go. Here's an advertisement for it.
So they're already. I mean, well, I guess I was going to say, why are they even advertising them? But Coca-Cola still advertises. It's like everyone buys Coca-Cola. This is great, though.
You're selling this now. Gabish? I think I got the message.
Now, this is pre-fake news era, so I mean, this would be tough to sell these days. A newspaper advertising that they're strong-arming small business with their news.
Yeah, it's a good point. Would you describe what happens in it just for the podcast listeners?
Yeah, for podcasters, it's just classic. I mean, and it's even better to me, at least as an American, it's even better that it's just in a Swedish shop somewhere of a newspaper I've never heard of, because it's just, regular, like a small shop. And then of course Paulie just kind of storms in and starts throwing all the other newspapers off the shelves, dumping racks over as he's throwing the Aftonbladet all over every rack. And it's all about what's it say? What's the headline here?
So what they were doing, and it's not really apparent from the ad at all, but I looked into it. What they were doing at this time, this was in 2009, Aftonbladet was giving away Sopranos DVDs on Wednesday. So what it says on screen right now is collect the Sopranos with your purchase. Get your first DVD free. So I don't know if I guess they wouldn't fit a whole season on a DVD, right? But it was kind of every Wednesday there would be a Sopranos DVD that you could get, and it was like $5 or whatever, like to get the thing. So you could collect Sopranos DVDs exclusively through this newspaper deal.
That's actually pretty legit. So he puts all these papers on the shelves, duct tapes one to the window, and then leaves because he's given him the picture. But there is a follow-up as well. There's another one here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see it.
You're doing nice. Here, go buy yourself some new clothes.
It is funny because now, it's all. I guess I see the DVDs now. They're packaged in with the papers, but that's the whole shop is all the papers with the Sopranos DVDs. And now Paulie comes in with his suit on and gives him some US dollars.
This was the first thing that came up when I searched for Sopranos commercials. I was just so shocked because you hear them like speaking Swedish at the start of the first one. I was like, wait, what? And then I didn't even realize it was an ad for the newspaper. I thought it was like a Sopranos ad, or I was confused until I looked into it. But the reason I love it is partially because I'm Swedish, but also it's the thing you said that basically around the world, as we consume media, mostly American media like this, we kind of get these images in our head of like tropes and things like that, like the mob character, the Italian mafioso. All these things are created through us consuming media. And then here, just like you said, it's so absurd to have him walk into a newsagent in Sweden, like in a small town, where the look on this guy's face is great as well, because everyone's just kind of looking at him confused, but kind of going along with it. So it's kind of like, much like The Sopranos brings excitement to our life, Paulie's just going to show up in your life right now, like Sopranos DVDs do on fucking Wednesdays, and just bring this thing. And I don't know, I just think it's a great clash of things happening here, like better than a duck.
It is fun. I do like this one. You know what? I will give this one. Well, both of these, I'm counting them as a series here. I'm going to give them 4 out of 5 boxes of ZDs for sure. Probably my favorite one so far.
Yeah. I'm going to give them 100 lådor med city, which would be Swedish for boxes of ZD. So that's the highest rating I can give. But the exchange rate is not great, so don't try to convert that into dollars. I did pull up a news article where they sort of shortly interview him. Obviously, in Aftonbladet, they're going to make a news article about their own advertisement. Fucking genius.
Yeah.
But they were talking to him a bit, and he said that, you know, everyone... He said, Tony said, this is a quote, and I'm loosely translating. He was like, yeah, forget about Tony Sirico. Everything's about Paulie these days. Everybody loves the character, fans, police, even people at the FBI. Ha, ha, ha. I added the laugh. But basically, yeah, he said it's great to be in Sweden and playing Paulie again. And he said, the only Swedish word I know is Aftonbladet, Tony Sirico says, and laughs. And then, let's see, there was a description. Okay, this is from the text of the article that says, Tony Sirico seems really similar to his character, both in his behavior and his sense of humor. When he was introduced to the man playing the shopkeeper, he burst out, I don't want to be friendly with that fuck. Like off camera. And then it says, like, in order to make the scene as believable as possible. But I was just laughing at him being there on location, saying like, I don't want to talk to this guy.
He's in character. He's ready to go.
Yeah. Exactly. And then someone happened to mention to him, and he loves boxing, they happened to mention to him that professional boxing is not a thing in Sweden, and he dropped his hamburger and started gesticulating wildly, saying, get the fuck out of here. Sweden's a socialist country, right? Don't get me wrong. You Swedes seem okay, but I don't see no big shine of happiness over your eyes either. And
Jeez, getting real.
Yeah.
No boxing, you're socialist.
The only other thing is that there's sort of behind the scenes photos. It's funny to see like him wearing what looks like 3 jackets where everyone else is just like in shirt sleeves because it's probably too cold for him or whatever. Yep. That's kind of funny. But that's all I have from that article. I as I said, 100 lådor med city from me.
I love it. Let's see. So we got another one here. I think this is a Frank Vincent one.
Can I help you?
Maybe we can help you. We're here to offer you protection.
Oh, we've got all the protection we need.
Oh!
Thanks, but no thanks, fellas.
Oh!
Miller Lite cans have a taste protector lid with a
I was like, why is he saying Miller Lite is protection? But I guess
this is the beer commercial, is it?
Yeah.
special barrier to block out that metal can taste and lock in that great Pilsner taste.
Let's mop the floor with this guy.
Oh, thanks.
Oh!
The taste.
So just a lot of misunderstandings are happening. Now, one thing is I don't think I've ever been like, man, the can of that the beer's in is messing up the taste. So I guess that's why the taste protector can didn't really catch on, because it's not something I'm that familiar with, the taste protector lid. But Yeah, it's just a comedy of errors as they're saying stuff like, "Hey, we're gonna mop the floor with you," while he's mopping the floor, and he's like, "Okay, fellas."
I don't, we don't have to keep trying to punch these up, but literally just have him punch him at the end, and it's much
Yes.
funnier. Like, it's such an easy thing. I know maybe you don't want to put violence in your commercials or whatever, but come on, show a little fucking balls here. If you're gonna do a thing about extortion or whatever, like have him punch the guy at the end. It's funnier.
And you know what? I'm just gonna. This is of no shame on Frank Vincent. I'm also gonna give this one a 2 out of 5 boxes of ZD, but it's mostly because you have Frank Vincent and they wasted him on like whoever wrote and came up with the idea did not execute. So like we can.
It's also like, imagine if you were selling this beer. Like, this is clearly a new feature, the taste protector lid. If someone was like, "Hey, we're here to offer you protection," it's just not naturalistic in any way. Going like, "Hey, we have all the protection we need right here in the lid." Like, it doesn't make any sense. I know it's a commercial, so it's, you can make people act not like humans, but it's not how any normal person would react. You can build a situation where their response actually makes sense to a certain extent, but it doesn't here.
Yeah. So what do you give it?
It's 0 ZDs. No ZDs. It's total Goomba from me.
All right. Well, moving on here. Oh, this is a good one. This is a old school Netflix commercial. Everyone knows
nice.
Netflix these days, but at the time, this is pre-streaming, and you had to kind of explain to people what it was with discs in the mail.
Right.
Why, Jimmy? Why are you still not renting your movies from the Netflix? Come here, sit down. It's easy. Make a list of movies you want to see and get your first DVDs in the mail in about 1 business day.
Oh, it is easy.
Shut up. Keep them as long as you want. Send one back in a prepaid envelope, and they automatically mail another from your list. Late fees? Forget about them.
No late fees.
Shut up.
There's a movie waiting for you at home.
You know what? That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The lady's wrapped in a carpet. It's even funnier because he did murder like someone that was at his mom's retirement home and like wrapped her in a carpet, I believe. So it's even a better reference. It's a nice use of the envelope where he pulls like this, the way you'd pull out your money envelope from your shirt, your jacket pocket. This is a fucking A+ commercial. I mean, obviously, with hindsight, Netflix knew what they were doing. But even at the time, you have to be like, wow, great use of Polly, great use of the gangster motif.
Mm-hmm. This is a Goomba for sure. Like, I'd take this commercial out on Saturday while my wife's at home. Definitely, it's a good one. It's got that nostalgia factor as well, kind of, because it's weird seeing a commercial for Netflix that is about this, which obviously would not have been a thing internationally, as you can imagine, with international mailing. Can you imagine? But yeah, it's pretty cool. So it says DVDs out at the time, varies by program, 3 out, $17.99 per month. So, people complain about streaming, about how much it costs, etc. these days. People hiking up prices. $17.99 for 3 DVDs. We're doing better now than we did back then, at least.
For sure. And also, like, I think back to the commercial is it uses the theme well. It uses the gangster thing, but it also is informative because this is the days of video rentals, Blockbuster, late fees, garbage like that. So I think it paints a picture. 4.5 out of 5 boxes of ZD.
Yeah, but do you not want to have a cool light beer now with super enhanced taste? Like, I feel like if anyone who's a snob about beer will just drink it out of a glass anyway, so what are you talking about? But
yeah, no,
whatever. Exactly. This is a good one.
It is weird how far we've come. Because this doesn't feel that long ago to me. When I signed up for Netflix, I did have discs. I did have the mail discs for a while. But that just shows that our own mortality is creeping every day. Here we go. Another commercial. Here we go. Michael Imperioli selling tequila.
What happened to tequila? These days, it's all velvet ropes and posturing. I don't know about you, but when I drink it, I really like to kick back and be myself.
So what he's doing there, they're trying to say that this, I forget what brand this is, the 1800 tequila is better than Patron. He's throwing shade at Patron. This did not work out well.
Be myself. Oops. 1800 tequila. Change the game.
I mean, I guess the good thing about it, I don't know if you know tequila that well. It's not like I don't know tequila that well either. Patron is more expensive. The 1800 is much cheaper. So that's good.
That is good. Gonna have to give me some background here. What's this about velvet ropes? What are they talking about? What is?
Because if you look at the bottle he kicks over, that's a bottle of Patron, and yeah, I guess it has a little. You see how it has like a little rope wrapped around it. I didn't know it was a velvet rope or whatever it is, but like, how much is a fucking bottle of Patron? Although in these days with inflation, who could say?
Inflation, Jim, with the inflation. I don't think this is a Sopranos commercial. If we're being honest here, it's a Michael Imperioli commercial. He's in it.
Yeah, but why is he in it? He's in it.
I know that's why, but I just mean usually they make him, I don't know, collect an envelope or something. They throw something in there, which makes it a Sopranos commercial. I'm not saying that's necessarily better than this, because either way, you're just having him be there because of the allure of the star power, etc. But at least I guess they're not making him do the thing that we were talking about, like parading him around in the same way. So better or worse, it's not a good commercial anyway to me. It's just him talking to a camera, and it's kind of boring.
That's cool. 1800 just poured me a shot. What can your top do? Nothing. 1800.
That one's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. So what's happening is, I guess this thing has a shot thing in its a cork, kind of, so you can pour a shot. Okay.
I had bought these bottles before, and I didn't. Well, I mean, I knew it before now, but it took me longer than it should have to realize they had those tops. But back to what you were saying, I do give them credit because they aren't leaning into, the mafioso thing, but they are in a way, like, that's why he's in a suit. Like, he's supposed to still have, like, he's supposed to give off the energy of, say, like, the Dapper Don, like a fucking John Gotti, without being like, hey, give me the tequila over here. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, where's the tequila? But you're right. Like, in a weird way, even though I don't like the ads, except I like this one a little bit more. I give them more credit because they are not leaning into it as much.
Yeah, I like this one a lot more. You heard me laughing. I think in part because it's like they have Michael Imperioli on there, but they're not not only are they not just using him for Sopranos references, they're also using his comedic timing and delivery. Like, that's what makes it. And in a way, that is what makes it worth like having a simple commercial, rather than spending 30 seconds doing a bunch of shots and story and complicated stuff. It's just like, hey, we have the time to tell one joke well, and we're gonna do it. So, as far as these goes, not so bad.
Yeah, I give the first one 1.5 out of 5 boxes of ziti. I give the second one 3 out of 5.
I give the first one an oh madon, and this one gets an oh madon. So it's kind of like
a little better.
Getting more positive. It's not great, but it's better.
Don Tony, you wanted to see me?
Vincenzo, I've decided it's time for a change. The family is ready to take on a new member.
But boss, I don't understand. I thought this family only uses Stacker 2.
Stonard, it is Stacker 2. Stacker 2 ephedra-free.
It's the world's strongest fat burner and a new ephedra-free form.
So now Stacker 2, I remember I would watch wrestling in the early 2000s, and they were always advertising Stacker 2. And actually, the guy that's not Tony Sirico and not the guy he's talking to, who like puts the bottle on the table, is a wrestler. It's Bubba Ray Dudley. And yeah, apparently it's some sort of fat burner / I assume nowadays banned substance.
Yeah, it looks dodgy as fuck. Like, even just looking at the label, like a fat burner does not sound like that. Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna give you some sort of disease or make your heart stop immediately.
Yeah, dietary supplement. I mean, it's a good use of the gangster motif, I suppose. I like that he calls him a stunad. Which I might mean the R word. I'm not sure. But I like that he calls him a Stunod. I like the use of it. Don't love the product. But so I'll probably give it like a 2.5 out of $5 to Ziti.
Tony Sirico, he's just in 100 of these, isn't he? Like he's in
so
he's in everything but the kitchen
This guy,
sink.
he must have been making so much dough off ads. And yeah, we almost were kind of talking about it before we started. But I can't blame him because it's not like I don't think he's ever positioned himself as like an actor with a huge range, which is fine. He plays to his strengths. So he's going to be in mafia movies. And then, of course, if they need this part in a commercial, he'll do it. Now, I don't extend, for whatever reason, I don't extend the same respect to Vincent Pastore, who plays Big Pussy. And part of it, actually, let me pull this out. I was saving it for later, but let me play it now. And this is actually fairly recent, and I fucking hate it so much.
Okay, great.
But hold on, I actually got to change browsers here. No
worries. This is actually going to be a commercial break in our commercial episode because I'm going to go ahead and recommend that whether you love our Sopranos commercial breakdown or not, you've probably listened to the podcast up to this point, and we'd really love any and all reviews left at Apple Podcasts. We have a few new ones since last, and I'm just going to read one out here. This is from Stacker 2. It's 5 stars, and the title of the review is Like a Conversation with Pals. And they say, I love Pada Bing for its loving attention to details. I enjoyed Talking Sopranos for its insider stories to a degree, but these two guys are so comforting to listen to, and they hit the right mark on analysis and opinion, with a personality that works. Great concept with the veteran and the noob. Well done, guys. 5 stars. Question: Burrows? What kind of a Swedish name is that? Fill us in. Thank you so much for the review, and you did get me. Burrows is my dad's surname. My dad was born in the UK and lived there for a large part of his life, and now I live in Ireland just to keep Jim confused. So that kind of solves it. But thank you so much for those kind words, and if you want to get your review read out, please do leave it on Apple Podcasts. Thanks.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you. But yes, let's get to the Gabagool.
Oh no. I thought you were just using a phrase like let's get to the Gabagool, like let's get started. This is something called the Gabagool, but it's ghoul like the monster, and it's a Halloween thing. Okay, great. Let's do it.
Hey, it's me, the Gabagool, and today I'm gonna teach you how to make these Dietz and Watson hoagie bites for your Halloween guests. Spot on. This is friggin' delicious.
Now,
I'm sorry, Jim. How do you not like this?
I hate it so much. It's you know what? It's one of the most racist things I've ever seen in my life, maybe.
Okay, great. So Vincent Pastore, he's dressed up like in makeup with pointy ears, and he's a ghoul, I guess, and that's kind of the bit here.
He's the Gabagool. I think this is actually fairly recent. I think this is within the past like Halloween season where this ad campaign rolled out. And maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I feel like Tony Sirico would never. He would never do this.
Yeah, he just wouldn't sit for the makeup, though.
I'm sorry, say it again.
He just wouldn't sit for the makeup, though.
You know what? Yeah, maybe he would be the Gabagool, but he would just come out in his tracksuit or whatever.
He just gets so yes, he'd be in the tracksuit. Now, so we haven't finished it yet. The reason I like it is that it's just so crazy. It could work. Like it's so dumb that I come back around to liking it. But you know what? I don't want to speak too soon. Let's play it.
Now, you gotta chop them into little pieces so your guests can enjoy them. See what I'm saying? Here you go. Tasty hoagie bites.
I think there's more.
Hey, it's me, the Gabagool, and today we're gonna make Halloweenies. And the key to a scary good weenie is the dog, and it's gotta be Dietz and Watson. Their dogs grill up plump and juicy, and they got all kinds of choices. There's a weenie for everyone in the family. Also, the bun must be perfectly. What's with the friggin' bat? Yo, give me back my weenie, you rat-faced piece of hot dog stealer.
What do you think? I think there's one more after this. I think all the spots are in a line here. But what do you think so far?
Well, so far it's obviously amazing. I don't know what it's an ad for. I guess hot dogs or a brand of hot dogs.
Yeah, it's a brand of like meat, I guess. Dietz and Watson.
Great.
Hey, it's me, the Gabagool. How you doing? Halloween is all about snacks, but in my house, we don't give out no candy corn. Only the good stuff, like Dietz and Watson Landjagers, and my personal favorite, Dietz nuts. No one could resist a handful of them. You dig where I'm coming from? Gino, is that you? You're stealing from the kids again, huh? Well, take these nuts and get out of my kitchen, you gavone.
Do they really sell a product called Dietz Nuts? Is
Yeah,
this all
apparently.
just a joke?
No, it's a real company, and they sell nuts, and they say Dietz nuts on them.
I mean, I
This
guess
is
it's for the
terrible. I've gone back around now. It went on for too long, and I was like, "What the fuck does this? What is being a mobster have to do with Halloween?" And because it's just because Gabagool is the only reason he's in this. The thing doesn't have anything. Like he says, like he calls the bats rats or whatever, but it doesn't have anything to do with the mob theme or anything like that. It's just like, hey, here's some hot dogs. Why? Gabagool.
Actually, you know what? I got to go back to this other one. Because this guy, I mean, again, like to people that don't say no, like this dude will not say no unless this is Tony Sirico again. But I think this is also a Vincent Pastore commercial.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wise guys don't carry their money in a wallet. He carries around in a wad like this.
What is that?
This is the broccoli wad. It's tough. It's made of silicone rubber.
I mean, I think this is obviously maybe a remix, but this was a real thing, and it's like a local commercial. I think
this is okay. So if you're listening to the podcast, this looks like it's filmed, I don't know, on like one of those flip out, like it's like a camera. It's a dedicated camera, but it flips out a screen, like a camcorder. It's filmed on a camcorder, basically. And then I was already like, what the fuck is happening with this video quality? And then it started being remixed. But this seems like some show moho fucking version of this, I guess. Is it an ad for money or paper?
No, it's really called like, unless this is a goof, but I don't know if this is a goof.
I don't think
they had broccolywad.com, but it went away.
I just got confused by the remixing. So what is it an ad for?
Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I didn't watch the ad first. I just pulled one up. But maybe it's a sketch. But even if it's a sketch, it's still kind of like you got Vincent Pastore said yes for your small like camcorder shot sketch.
We're judging it too soon. Neither of us have seen it. Let's play the whole thing from the top.
Broccoli wad, fits in your pocket, easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad.
It keeps all my cash and cards right here.
Broccoli wad. Thing's so small you can take it anywhere.
Sure, you can take it to the gym, you can take it to the beach, you can take it to the pool,
You can take it anywhere.
you can take it to the beach, you can take it to the
Racetrack.
take it to the movies.
You want to wait? Just take it outside. Take it outside. Take it outside.
Jim.
Broccoli wad. It's tough.
Jim, I'm having an aneurysm.
I really didn't feel like I was going insane.
Jim, we've watched. There's like 2/3 left of this still. Okay, so first of all, I think this is the commercial. I don't think anyone would spend time editing this and putting it to music. And also, the way it's put together makes me feel like this is the product. This is the final product.
Oh, because yes, it is a product. They sell it on Amazon. I guess it's something that was on Shark Tank as well, which I don't watch. So I didn't. Forgive me if people already knew this from Shark Tank. But yeah, invented by Johnny Gennaro, invented the broccoli wad, a rubber band capable of holding cash.
Wow. But look, no, I mean this is the commercial, the one with the remixing. The remixing is part of it, clearly.
Yes,
but that's what makes it even more absurd. And I need to see the rest, but I do think my brain might melt. So let's play
less than like a halfway through.
If we don't have any more
Broccoli wad. It's in your pocket, easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad. in your pocket. Easier than a wallet.
Or a purse. You should have seen me before I got this. I was digging around.
Oh my God. Jim!
You know what? This was posted in 2011. I don't know if that's when the ad was actually made or not, but it definitely has vibes of like, this is around the time of like, hide your kids, hide your wife, like stuff like that. So they're like, oh, auto-tune that. Let's do like an auto-tune the news of our commercial. That'd be great.
Yes, and they were right. It was great. And you see, so there's the problem is, I think there was a chorus there, kind of. It was kind of catchy, but then they started having a conversation now, and this is where it should be like a bridge, like where the music's building behind them, but they're just giving you information about the product. But in fact, what just happened is that she's like, "You should have seen me before this. I was having all sorts of problems, except it was like," and you're just like, what is she saying? What is happening here? And still, we have about a third of this left, so I'm very excited.
Hey, forget about it.
I won't forget.
You forgot, knucklehead.
I won't forget, boss.
Forget about it.
I won't forget.
You forgot, knucklehead. Forget about it. Wise guys don't carry that wallet. Wise guys don't carry that briefcase. Wise guys don't carry that wallet. He carries around this broccoli wad. It's tough. It's made of silicone rubber. Broccoli wad that fits in your pocket. Easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad that comes in blue for the daytime. White for the night. The broccoli wad that comes in black. That comes in gray for the ladies.
Oh, that's nice.
Give me the check. Thank you. Here, thank you. Pick up the tip. The broccoli wad. An offer you can't refuse.
Get yours today for only $10. But wait, call now and we'll double the offer. That's 4 broccoli wads today for only $10.
Broccoli wad. An offer you can't refuse.
Oh,
Jim,
my God.
There's so much to unpack here. Yes. Like, yeah, there's you can get 4 rubber bands for $10. First of all, that's an amazing deal.
Second of all, you ask how to get a free Wise Guy shirt with your order.
Okay. Well, that one I might do. But just Jim, I don't know that we can play any more after this, because that is the best one. I could not have imagined this existed. I also know that we like playing in like little clips from the show at the start, but I'm pretty sure we need to go back and edit every episode of Cut to Black and just make this our intro music, or at least use it from here on out, because this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's a wallet. Wise guys don't use a wallet. Broccoli wad.
Forget about it. You forgot about it.
God damn. Like, I don't know what it is. I just don't respect Vincent Pastore that much.
I don't think you have to say I don't know what it is. I think this video is enough, really. Though, to be fair, he just showed up and was like, hey, it's like a rubber band. And then they made this thing.
Well, do you think he knew it was going to be like this? Or they just shot a couple scenes and maybe after the fact, they're like, you know what? These scenes are flat. We need to spice it up and auto-tune the news with these.
I think they told him and he didn't care. And he didn't understand what they were saying to him. But he was like, you're still paying me the same, right? And they were like, yeah, you're going to get your 4 free broccoli wallets or broccoli wads, just like you asked. That's the equivalent of $10, which is what we're paying you. And he was like, great, that is what I want.
Awesome. Sounds great. Man, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Well, I mean, I feel like I have to give it. It's like my inclination is to give it a high score as a goof, but I'm just gonna give it a 1.5 out of 5. I mean, the entertainment factor is fun, but I don't know how in on the joke they are actually. I guess maybe a little bit. I'm still gonna give it 1.5 out of 5 boxes of ZD.
I'm gonna give it 4 broccoli wads for $10, which is a great deal.
You know what? I'm gonna give it 8 broccoli wads for $10. I'm gonna sweeten the pot.
Yeah, a free Wise Guy order. Jim, how many commercials do we have? Because we've been doing this for an hour, and I feel like this could be our like streamathon week. There are so many, right?
Because
we got to a point before recording where you were like, "Wait, when do we start record? Like, we have to call it at some point and stop looking for these, because the more we dig, the more we find."
Honestly, this reminds me to go to reference my other show, Jim and Them. This is like when I do Super Bowl songs. And I just had, like, every year before the Super Bowl, we go to each team and I find parody songs that people made. And yes, I end up just having a million of them. and you have to know when to just call it quits. But I know broccoli wad is probably the climax, but let's just do a couple more because this is kind of a perfect like simmer everything down because here's some James Gandolfini commercials.
Great.
I guess I'll see if you can guess what it's for. But I think these are sophisticated. I mean, especially anything we watch now.
Yes. Here's a monkey shitting in its face. Oh, wow. Give it an Oscar.
They say New Yorkers can be demanding. But if an expectation that things be done quickly and to a certain level of perfection is demanding, well then, yeah, we're demanding.
You can't drive it parking.
He's a pussycat, really. We just have a highly developed sense of what we want out of life.
You're flying American, right?
Absolutely.
We've flown more New Yorkers to destinations around the world than any other airline. And if we can keep them happy.
American Airlines. You know what? It's just so great to see Jimmy Gandolfini on screen. And he does bring this aura. And so it's almost like jarring when they're like, American Airlines. Like, you think it's building to a better point somehow?
You think he's going to have like a panic attack or like it's going to be like a deep emotional moment and then it's an ad for American Airlines.
Yeah, or at the very least, just going to be some sort of poetic little exclamation point. But then when it's like, yeah, American Airlines, there's like a series of these. There's a couple more of these.
But I think this is what they're trying to do with some of the other actors from The Sopranos, like where they bring them in and they're like, hey, this is going to automatically sell our product. Like James Gandolfini could sell me anything. You know, I'd just be like, yeah, now I have to fly American Airlines, even though what he just said makes no sense. Like, just people in a city fly the airline that flies to this city a lot. Oh, weird. Yeah, we definitely pick our airlines with that amount of scrutiny.
Here's another one. Unless I hope it's not the same one. Let me see.
We all have to eat. But as New Yorkers, we have to eat well.
Innovative menus, award-winning wines. We've flown more New Yorkers than any other airline. And if we can keep them happy.
That's a pretty legit first class. But also, yeah, what a weird point. Like, do you think they actually have a stat where they're like, how many New Yorkers has Delta Airlines flown? Well, not as much as us. We've flown the most New Yorkers.
The rest of the U.S. hates people in New York, right? Like, you have to.
For the most part, yes.
This is the only thing that I see as a problem with this, really, because it's kind of like these fucking assholes who are up their own holes and think the world revolves around them. We like pleasing them. Is that going to make you want to buy our product?
But the weirdest detail is that it's the .co.uk URL at the end. So are they like, is this only airing in the UK? Are they? Does the United Kingdom have some sort of love of New Yorkers? Like, just like us? Because I mean, I've never seen these commercials before. That doesn't mean they didn't play here in the States, but I just think it's interesting. Both of them had that URL at the end.
I think that's a good question and a good call in a sense, because I do think that like the New York romanticism is probably more alive in Europe than in many parts of the US, because it's kind of like the symbol of the whole of the US to us, whereas if you live in the US, presumably you're going to be like, oh, hey, we're in a culture war, we hate the people on the coasts, or we hate this or we hate that, and we're just like, the Statue of Liberty, like in the movies, you know.
Yeah, it's like in The Godfather.
Yeah, look, a microphone. Doobie-doo. Oh, look at this for the light. Oh, it makes it dark. Not really that tired, though. I can't really sleep. Maybe we'll watch a movie or something. Come on. What's going on? What are you doing? Yeah. You hear me?
So that's just, he has an annoying asshole next to him in first class, nice spacious seats, so he could just put a wall up and ignore him. So that's, enough said from that.
Yeah, I'm doing some very in-depth digging here where I ended up on someone's LinkedIn where they wrote an article about working with James Gandolfini on these commercials, and I'm just trying to see, can I get out of it where this is. Okay, so the guy who worked with James Gandolfini is a resident of London, England, making me think that you're kind of on something here with co.uk, which is the address here as well. I don't think this was aimed at Americans, which makes a lot of sense.
It is interesting because, like, for the longest time, and maybe it's still similar, usually bigger stars like that were never on commercials that aired here. They were always in international commercials for whatever reason. I don't know why
Yeah,
that
like in
is.
Lost in Translation, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is one of the same. This is another. This one might be a dupe, though. Let me see.
Pull up with the next one.
That's different.
Things happen fast in New York. And if you can't deal with it, you better get out of the way.
Excuse me, sir. Go ahead. What do you want to get to the office?
Johnny Carson called it a New York minute.
It's the time between the light turns green and a guy honks his horn behind you.
You couldn't wait?
Wait.
Yes, sir. Steak, where?
Two sticks, rare.
This takes rare. Coming up.
Bon appetit.
No extra sweet.
We've flown more New Yorkers than any other airline. And if we can keep them happy.
Yeah, that was just more the fast-paced New York, and it's like we got standards. I need to fly first class. I need 2 steaks rare.
Yeah, and it's nice to see James Gandolfini doing these things, or
Totally.
just doing anything really. But yeah, I mean, the commercials are not great. I found the copywriter who wrote these, his portfolio, where it says that this is a series of TV commercials aimed at UK business travelers, which makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, okay, that does make sense because yeah, you know what, there would be this like, I'm a high class businessman in the UK. Yes. I put myself on the level as a New Yorker. I'm just like a guy on Wall Street over here.
And they're probably flying to New York, specifically like flights from London to New York. Like that would be a good route to try to get people to book in these high class business class kind of seats. So yeah,
this is another Gandolfini one. Oh, actually, going back to those though, I mean, they automatically get 2.5 stars just for having Gandolfini in it. 2.5 stars, 2.5 boxes of ziti. So those get 2.5 boxes of ziti.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll go with that as well.
Feels good to be back, huh? Yeah, sure does.
Oh, it's you. I can't believe it. I'm a huge fan. This season is going to be great. Everybody's talking about it. And what a great bunch of guys. You got that whole Jersey thing going. It's unbelievable. My kids love you guys. It's a program the whole family can get behind. So, is it too much to ask? Can I get an autograph, Coach Schiano?
I can't take you anywhere.
They gave us the old fucking 1-2. They threw us for a loop there. So
this is great. Yeah, I don't know what it's a commercial for. What is because
Rutgers football, and I guess Gandolfini, because it's kind of cut off on the video, but he's Rutgers class of '83. But he's sitting next to Coach Greg Schiano, who's the coach of Rutgers football.
Okay, is Rutgers like a school? Is this like college football?
Oh, yes.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. And I feel like it's mentioned. I mean, it's mentioned in The Sopranos. This is where I've heard the word Rutgers before. AJ's like, I guess I'll go to Rutgers or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, I've heard of it. It's a good bait. Like, from the start what they're doing. I'm kind of like, I don't know what the thing is gonna be, but I know he's not talking to James Gandolfini. But still, it's fine. It's nice.
Yeah,
3 boxes.
Okay, yeah, it's State University of New Jersey. Because I was like, I was gonna say it was in New Jersey, but I didn't know for sure, so I did want to double check. So it all checks out. You know what? Yeah, I'll give this a 3.5 boxes of ziti out of 5. I liked it. And it's you could tell, like, it's not as low quality as the broccoli wad commercial, but you can tell it's a little different. But then also it's very forgiven because Gandolfini is an alumnus. Of course, he's given back to those that gave him so much.
Yeah, no, it does feel like that. Except like the broccoli wad, I don't think that I don't think it was a passion project, the commercial. Whereas this, I can buy like, oh yeah, I'm doing it because I'm sure that pay me something, but I'm not really doing it for that.
I mean, I guess, yeah. How many more should we do? Should we
Well,
just...
Jim, do you have the James Gandolfini "Life Is Short" commercial? Because I think that one's quite good, actually.
Oh, I don't know if I have that one.
And I believe it may have been the last one he made before he died, because it was in maybe it was 2012. It was 2012 or yeah. Yeah. No, it came out in 2013. So if you just search "Life Is Short," it should come up.
Okay. Yeah, let me pull this up here.
Life is short. Try to do something new every day. Dance. Try to dance as much as you can. Try to connect to the silence of the sea. And whenever you can, try to give your body a good rest. Once in a while, try to surprise an old friend. I'm sorry. I know. Try to exercise on a regular basis. A healthy body is a healthy mind. And learn to appreciate art. Try new things. And yes, it will change your life.
So,
what's that for? Is
yeah,
Yes a network?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Yes. Is it yes.o? Is that a thing?
Yeah. So it must be like
it's an Israeli television channel.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That is a very good one. I do like that because initially I was like, oh, is this some sort of? I thought it was going to be like an insurance commercial or like life insurance, and just the fact that he's no longer with us and it's called Life Is Short. I was already ready to get it emotional at the beginning. Yeah. But then they have some fun bits going on with the whole the mafia angle for podcasters. When he's saying like get exercise and stuff, he's like chasing people with a car. What was like the main ones you were saying?
Dancing, and they're shooting at someone's feet.
Yes.
Enjoy the ocean. They're throwing a body in. Get some rest. They're burying a body. Appreciate art. They're watching people draw the chalk outline around the body. And surprise an old friend is really funny because it's someone getting into a car, and then he kind of puts his hand on his shoulder, like, and the guy's like, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "I know," but he's just still kind of talking to the camera. So I really like the use of mob type tropes here, in contrast with the messaging. So, and also it's called Life Is Short, and it came out in 2013, the year that he passed away. So I don't really see a better way to end it on than this. Though I will say I feel like we definitely have enough material for a part 2, going through additional commercials because there's heaps of them.
Yeah.
So maybe we should ask people to send in if we've missed any ones or which one's your favorite of this. And really any excuse to just use our new theme song for a new episode, I'm excited for.
Yeah, because I have at least like 10 that we didn't even get to, but we could save those for another time, and maybe if we have some other ones sent in, we could revisit some Sopranos commercials. This was very fun, though. This was very cool. I hope people enjoyed it.
It's a lot of fun. And yeah, you can send us suggestions for commercials at showswhatyouknow on Twitter. That's showswhatyouknow, the letter U. Or you can email us at showswhatyouknowshow@gmail.com. Or as we mentioned before, you can, of course, leave a review on Apple Podcasts and include what you think we should cover. Both commercials and non-commercial things as we kind of waltz our way into the post Many Saints of Newark world that we now find ourselves in.
Absolutely. And it's a scary, cold, dark world. All that's left to do is maybe just rewatch The Sopranos. So yeah, is there anything else?
I do want us to play the whole song again, like the whole the whole broccoli wad thing, and maybe break from tradition and just fade out on that instead of our usual. But that's just me, though. I am doing a Sopranos rewatch, by the way. I'm on we had the episode on the feed where I was watching it with Una, We're now on like we just finished season 4, so we're not going to do an episode for every season, but we're definitely going to come back, if not before then, once we finish the show and do a like quick retrospective, getting her opinion as a first-time viewer versus mine. But you know, there's many other things we could talk about on this podcast as well, so send us some suggestions.
Absolutely, yeah. We won't leave you. We won't leave you in this dark, cold world. And you're right. I think we have to just ride out on the broccoli wad once again. There's no better way to leave it than that. Hold on, I got to cue it up. So yeah, I guess there's just one thing left to say.
Oh, what's that?
Cut to watch.
Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wise guys don't carry their money in a wallet. He carries around in a wad like this. What is that? This is the broccoli wad. It's tough. It's made of silicone rubber. Broccoli wad. Fits in your pocket. Easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad.
It keeps all my passion cards right here.
Broccoli wad. It's so small you can take it anywhere.
Sure, you can take it to the gym, you can take it to the beach, you can take it to the pool,
You can take it anywhere.
you can take it to the beach, you can take it to the
Racetrack.
take it to the movies.
If you want to wait, just take it outside. Take it outside. Take it outside. The broccoli wad, it's tough. It's made of silicone rubber. Broccoli wad, it's in your pocket. Easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad. The broccoli wad. The broccoli wad, it's in your pocket. Easier than a wallet.
Or a purse. You should have seen me before I got this. I was digging around like a crazy woman, like a crazy woman.
Hey, forget about it.
I won't forget.
You forgot, knucklehead.
I won't forget, boss.
Forget about it.
I won't forget.
You forgot, knucklehead. Forget about it. Wise guys don't carry that wallet. Wise guys don't carry that briefcase. Wise guys don't carry that wallet. He carries around this broccoli wad. It's tough. It's made of silicone rubber. Broccoli wad. It's in your pocket. Easier than a wallet. Broccoli wad. It comes in blue for the daytime. White for the night. The broccoli wad. It comes in black. It comes in gray for the ladies.
Oh, that's nice.
Give me the check. Thank you. Here, thank you. Pick up the tip. The broccoli wad. An offer you can't refuse.
Get yours today for only $10. But wait, call now and we'll double the offer. That's 4 broccoli wads today for only $10.
Broccoli wad. An offer you can't refuse.